nigga stole on you that from the side. Nigga hit you like a ref hit you. I see you. Hey. Let's make a headshot. Man down, man down. Make a headshot. Man down, man down. Right there.
Bass. I promise you none of these niggas gonna beat me. None of them. I'm gonna make an example out of Teo. That's the only thing I love. I promise they gonna be up.
This is honestly the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories.
You're the blueprint. Don't let anyone treat you like a rough draft. He prepares for his upcoming fight against Teofimo Lopez, scheduled at a 140-pound catch weight on January 31st.
Work hard, sacrifices, discipline, time away from my family. How you gonna beat me? Ain't no way you can beat me that way, bro. Keep saying I'm the best. Niggas don't want this shit more than me. I know it. I know it. I want this so bad. So bad. Shit easy, yeah.
Easy, man.
Easy.
Always easy, man.
You already know.
Always easy, man.
It's supposed to be a sprint.
Let's go.
This ain't no sprint.
No, it's a job. Let's go. We ready.
Focused and disciplined in training camp, he is working relentlessly to sharpen his skills, push his limits, and build the strength needed for the upcoming fight.
Both legs, band hit for 3, we rested, we did 3 more. And we're trying to get that 1.0 meters per second, maximize our power. I had you at about 120, 125, but we're gonna add some reps and lighten the weight a little bit.
Mentored through intense sparring and shared techniques, Shakur Stevenson is being pushed to elevate his skills, mindset, and resilience through demanding training sessions.
I almost missed that one. Which one? There it go. There it go. There it go. There it go. God damn. There it go, bro. He trying to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He's trying. Man, I performed. Just know that. I told y'all what I was gonna do. I was gonna come out here and beat his ass every game.
Shakur Stevenson is fully focused on increasing his speed, refining his footwork, punches, and reactions to control opponents with sharp, precise movement. Teofimo Lopez has acknowledged Stevenson's elite talent at 135 pounds but questions how effective he will be at 140, stating that only the fight will reveal how well he adapts.
Flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories. I think 135 was his top tier. 140, I think we just gotta wait and see. You know what I mean? And for him to even come up to do that, you know, I think he deserves his flowers for everyone else out there. You know, guys trying to go more down into the ranks of top 5, top 3, and eventually top 1 for pound.
But that ain't what you said, bro.
What'd I say?
I mean, I gotta remind you, you said, basically, I'm good at the lower weight classes. The only way that I'm going to be good is I fight at 126 pounds against guys like Anyway. But once I move up, you're gonna, well, I can't compete at this level at that weight.
Antonio Tarver approaches this matchup with the caution of someone who understands boxing beyond records and recent performances. He believes Teofimo Lopez cannot be judged solely by his latest outings, noting that Lopez still possesses rare, unteachable gifts. His speed, strength, and explosiveness remain intact, making him a threat to anyone in the division. Tarver warns that danger doesn't disappear just because confidence fades. Fighters with Lopez's athleticism need only one opening to completely change a fight, especially against a technician like Shakur Stevenson, where even a brief hesitation can be costly.
Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's gonna have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko, against Josh Taylor, fights to the level of his competition. And I've been thinking like, hey, if we get the best version of Teo, like the Teo that showed up for those fights, does that Teo beat the best Shakur?
It would have to. I mean, I think that's the only chance he got, is to really be his ultra self, doing all the things that makes him Teofimo Lopez. The footwork could be a major advantage for him. Being able to get inside. A lot of times he fights free. He don't really have a style. He does what it takes. And he's a gutsy fighter. Real gutsy. He's not going to be leery to take chances. He's a gambler in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's a live underdog, I would say.
Judah views this matchup as a collision of elite talent rather than a clash of hype. He sees two fighters equally committed to proving superiority, with neither willing to concede ground mentally or physically. From his perspective, this isn't about decided by size or power alone, but by who can impose their skill set under pressure. Both men bring confidence and discipline, creating a fight filled with tension, adjustments, and intensity. Judah believes it's this refusal to back down that elevates the matchup into a true test of ability, not just a showcase.
It's two dog fighters. You got two dog fighters that's coming in there to solidify themselves as the game changer. Teo's not gonna lay down. Shakur is not gonna lay down. It's gonna be skill versus skill. Teo's a very talented, skillful fighter. Shakur is a very extremely talented, skillful fighter. And yes, we're gonna see a hell of a great chess match that night.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, I think in your earlier predictions, you felt like Shakur will be stopping Teo? Am I right?
Annihilation, decapitation. Is that what you're talking about? You going back to my comments? Yeah. I feel like Teo's a very dominant force, but I just think that the skills of Shakur Stevens is gonna overwhelm Teo. It's gonna overwhelm. Yeah. He's never seen this type of action before yet.
Now,
no disrespect. Okay. It's my little man, you know what I'm saying? Just saying, it is what it is.
Looking at, the stats, the resumes, we see that, Teo has been at this high level for a long time. Right. When it comes to Shakur Stevenson, his amateur record speaks for itself, but at the same time, not necessarily getting the notable names that people know in America. People are also saying that they're kind of discrediting Shakur's resume, saying he hasn't really fought anybody. Teofimo Lopez would be that first person. Do you feel like that could be something that, I don't know, it could be a lot closer than what people think?
I mean, listen, the fight's going to be a lot closer than people think. We just blabbing our mouth and running off what we think our professional opinion is. These are two talented, great young fighters in here. You know what I'm saying? Teo's not going to back down. Shakur's not going to back down. We're going to get an exciting 12-round fights or however long it should last. We're going to have an exciting fight. And I'm expecting both guys to come in there and leave everything.
He represents a problem that very few fighters have been able to solve. Rather than overwhelming opponents with aggression or volume, Stevenson controls fights in a subtle, calculated manner. He limits openings instead of forcing action, gradually removing options and dictating the pace on his own terms. His defensive awareness, sharp positioning, and precise timing make every exchange difficult to access, forcing opponents to work harder for clean shots and often grow impatient as the rounds progress.
12 vote Teofimo Lopez. People love talking about this resume that Teofimo Lopez has. Granted, it's a really good resume. He has guys like Lomachenko under his belt, Josh Taylor, But if I'm being honest, Josh Taylor played into what Teofimo Lopez wanted him to do so perfectly. Lomachenko, he lost that fight more than Teofimo won that fight, if I'm being honest. And against lower level competition, like a Steve Claggett, like a Jermaine Ortiz, like a Cambosis.
Inside the ring, Stevenson is frustrating and unpredictable. He rarely reveals patterns, and when opponents begin to adjust, he adapts immediately. Against a fighter like Teofimo Lopez, who thrives on rhythm, confidence, and momentum, this style is especially dangerous. Stevenson's ability to disrupt flow before it even develops threatens to neutralize Lopez's natural strengths. What further separates Stevenson is his composure. He remains calm under pressure and rarely panics when situations shift, allowing him to read opponents in real time and make subtle but decisive adjustments. Facing Stevenson demands patience, discipline, and emotional control, qualities that challenge even the most gifted athletes. For Lopez, this matchup is as much a mental test as it is a physical one.
Focus Teo. Teo was only unfocused for one fight his whole life, and that was George Cambosis, and that's the only fight I'll give y'all. No matter who Shakur fought, he's looked great against everybody. No matter it's the bums that y'all say he fights or the number one guys in the division, Shakur Stevenson has dominated everybody. It's gonna be a sight to see. Shakur Stevenson on fight night is going to make fireworks happen, and I can't wait to see it. I've already gave my stance on this, but Shakur Stevenson it's just his time. And
the loss to George Cambosos disrupted the momentum Teofimo Lopez once carried with confidence. Prior to that defeat, his performances reflected sharp focus and consistent execution. Since then, his outings have appeared uneven, blending flashes of brilliance with moments of lost discipline. However, inconsistency should not be mistaken for a lack of danger. Lopez remains a serious threat, particularly in the early rounds when his energy is high and confidence fuels his offense. The question now is whether Lopez can turn that explosiveness into real danger against Shakur Stevenson.
A killer, as much of a killer at 140, and after Cambosis, he hasn't been the same in my opinion, but he's still explosive and still dangerous in the first 7 rounds, you know what I'm saying, first 8 rounds. So I think it's a good fight. I like the fight actually because of that. Teofimo got the explosive punching power on his side and good athleticism, and Shakur has superior boxer IQ, good range, good distance. So it's great. It's good boxer versus good athlete at this point. So I like the fight. I don't say it's 50-50. I say it's 60-40 Shakur. But I like Teofimo's chances in this fight. You know what I'm saying? If Teofimo makes this a fight and comes out early and attacks and gets right up on.
Lopez has the ability to generate sudden, fight-changing power. Even when out of rhythm or off balance, a single explosive movement can shift momentum instantly. This unpredictability keeps opponents constantly alert, as control can vanish in an instant. Analysts note that while his dominance has been inconsistent, his physical gifts, speed, strength, and athleticism remain intact. This mix creates a volatile fighter, with flashes of brilliance alongside costly mistakes. Against a composed and methodical opponent like Stevenson, that volatility is magnified. It could produce a defining breakthrough, or increase frustration if patience is lost. If Stevenson maintains distance and controls the pace, Lopez risks overreaching, missing, and growing increasingly frustrated.
De La Santos. You're going to see De La Santos part 2, and he's just going to get on his bicycle, which we don't want to see, or he's going to have to fight. And I think Teofimo is a guy that can make Shakur fight, because he can cut off the ring well enough. You know what I'm saying? I think he can stay with him well enough where he can turn this into a fight, and it'll be exciting for him if he does. I think Shakur, like a lot of fighters, he needs this name in order to silence a lot of the naysayers. Because people talk a lot of shit about Shakur, especially after the De La Santos fight. I don't think the Zabata fight took it off of him even.
Tim Bradley sees this matchup as a clash of two contrasting fighting philosophies: raw explosiveness versus calculated control. From his perspective, Teofimo Lopez excels through sudden movements and sharp bursts of energy, creating offense seemingly out of nowhere. His speed and athleticism are weapons meant to overwhelm opponents before they can establish rhythm. Lopez aims to impose chaos early, forcing reactions and exploiting hesitation with power shots that can instantly alter the course of a fight.
The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. A footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. Fast, twitchy type muscles, fibers. He's extremely fast. Some may say that his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of movements. How quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition.
According to Tim Bradley, the outcome of this fight won't be determined by who throws more punches or displays greater aggression. Victory will go to the fighter who controls the rhythm, dictates where and how the fight is fought, and forces the opponent to adjust. Bradley emphasizes that it's the feet, the positioning, movement, and ability to control distance that ultimately decide the fight.
The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. Footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. Fast, twitchy type muscles, fibers. He's extremely fast. Some may say that his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of movements. How quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition. However, he's in there with a guy that is a master at controlling distance. That's he's a master at literally, getting in his position, right, in a position where he wants to be and taking away your positioning. And with doing so, he takes away your feet, and that's why I think feet are going to be extremely important in this. If you can keep your opponent off balance. For instance, let me just give you an example. It's like Teo explodes. There's a subtlety before he explodes with his offense. And as soon as Shakur sees that, he's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do?
Shakur Stevenson carries himself with calm assurance. He does not shy away from criticism, nor is he rattled by doubt. Instead, he frames this matchup as another step in his progression. His confidence comes from preparation, not bravado. Stevenson approaches scrutiny with composure, trusting that his skills will speak louder than opinions. This mental stability may prove crucial against a fighter as emotionally charged as Teofimo Lopez, allowing him to navigate both the physical and psychological challenges of the fight.